We're continuing to follow breaking news this morning out of the capital city. More than 40 people rescued after an apartment building caught fire overnight. Nearly every unit in the city of Hartford responding to that call. We want to get out live to Fox 61's Gabby Molina. She's been live on the scene all morning long. Gabby, do you have any updates for us?
Good morning, Ashley. Yeah, the state fire marshal is on scene now here on Charter Oak Place. I want to give you a look. They just arrived about a half hour ago, and they joined the Hartford Fire Department's fire investigation unit. And what's going to happen now is they're going to determine what caused this massive fire at this 5-story apartment building on Charter Oak Place. 31 people had to be taken to the hospital because of this fire. And we now know that St. Francis Hospital confirms that 11 people were taken to their hospital. 2 of those people had to be airlifted to Bridgeport Hospital. If your Bridgeport Hospital does have a burn unit at there. So that is what we know so far about the injuries. No word on how serious their injuries are or on how seriously any of the people who were taken to the hospital were injured, but overnight the scene was very chaotic. Hartford Fire Department was rescuing people, taking children into ambulances, carrying people out, giving them oxygen. Fox 61 was first on scene while this was all happening. We know that 40 rescues had to be made, at least 40 rescues, and firefighters were using their ladders going into the building to get people out safely. 5 of those rescues happened in rooms where there was actually fire in the room at the time. And again, originally it was thought that more than 50 people were going to have to be taken to the hospital, so it was called in as a mass casualty. St. Francis said that they responded by putting together their emergency center, and were prepared for that to happen. But again, only 31 people did end up being taken out of the more than 50 that they thought there were. More than 70 firefighters responded just from Hartford, basically everyone in the city who was here at the time and some who were called in. And we know that they did get mutual aid from East Hartford, West Hartford, and New Britain. We did get a chance to speak to a man who lived inside of this apartment building earlier this morning. Here's what he had to say.
Whole window, flames were coming out about 10 feet high. I mean, flames really high. And the whole building was filled with smoke. People were screaming and hollering out their windows and stuff.
Now, at this point, we don't know if the families are going to be able to return to this apartment building. The fire chief said he didn't have that information, and that'll be determined a little bit later on. But we do know that there were 70 units in the building. Again, a 5-story apartment building. So you can imagine that there are dozens of people who are affected by this. And again, the state fire marshal is now on scene. We'd imagine they'd be here for quite some time, going through everything and figuring out what